Hello children, welcome to the science video session. In this video session, you are all going to learn the lesson Cell Biology of Standard 7. Come, let's get started with the lesson. Unit 4, Cell Biology. Introduction. If we eat contaminated food, there must be a type of bacteria which might cause food poisoning. Bacteria are microorganisms that can be seen only under microscope and not seen through naked eyes. Salmonella species is a bacteria that can cause foodborne infection. Salmonella bacteria is a unicellular organism. Our Earth is a beautiful place wherein different types of organisms happily coexist, from minute mosses to huge conifers, invisible bacteria to huge blue whale. All have a basic unit called cell. Let us study about the cell in this lesson. Cell as a fundamental unit of life. The building wall is made up of numerous bricks. In the similar manner, a beehive is composed of numerous hexagonal units. Some of the organisms are represented by a single cell. Therefore, they show a simple organization. The basic functional unit of an organism is called a cell. Structure of a cell represents the arrangement of parts or organelles in a cell. Cells are the basic building block of an organism. You learned that atoms are the basic building blocks of matter. Likewise, human body is made up of animal cell and plant is made up of plant cell. Unicellular organisms. Some simple organisms are made up of only one cell. They are called unicellular organisms, which can be seen with the help of a microscope. There are many single-celled microscopic organisms. Have a look at the given image. Paramecium, amoeba, bacteria, yeast, chlamydomonas are single-cell organisms, which carry out entire functions. The body of all organisms are made up of tiny building blocks called cells. Multicellular organism. The cells are organized into tissues, organs, and organ system in a multicellular organism. Macroscopic organisms are visible and consist of many cells. The body of macroscopic organisms involves various functions. You can see cells of onion and human through a microscope. Onion and man are examples for multicellular organisms. Cell to organism. Many cells function together to form tissues. Different tissues combine together to form an organ, and different organs to form an organ system, which leads to form an organism. Organisms. Many types of organ system function together in a body. Example, respiratory system, digestive system, excretory system, and circulatory system. Organ system. Many organs together form an organ system, which is concerned with a specific function. For example, respiratory system, which has organs like nostrils, nasal chamber, windpipe, and lungs that helps in the process of respiration. In a plant, the root system consists of primary root, secondary root, and tertiary root, which does the function of conduction of water and minerals, and also fixation. Organ. A collection of different tissues work together to perform a specific function or functions is called an organ. Human body has different organs like stomach, eye, heart, lungs, brain, kidneys, liver, etc. are made up of different types of tissues. Plants have organs such as leaves, stems, and roots. Tissue. Tissue is a group of cells organized for a specific function. Tissues have features like same shaped cells or different shaped cells to perform a common function. Human and other animals are made up of nervous, epithelial, connective, and muscle tissues. In the same way, plants have transport, protective, and ground tissues. Cell. The cell is a basic structural and functional unit of life. Cell is the building unit of a living organism. You can see in a hand how many types of cells are there to work together to perform its function. See the epidermal cells in the skin, bone cells in the bone, muscle cells in the muscle, nerve cells in the nerves. So, cell is known as the basic unit of life. Plant and animal cell comparison. Why do plant cells differ from animal cells? They differ from each other because they have to perform different functions. Look at the picture. In plant cell, there is presence of cell wall, but in animal cell, there is absence of cell wall. In plant cell, the cell wall is the outermost covering of the plant cell. It maintains the shape and protects the cell. Next, there is the presence of chloroplast in plant cell and absence of chloroplast in animal cell. Chloroplast is an organelle which characterized by its two membranes and a high concentration of chlorophyll and carry out the photosynthesis. Then, in the animal cells, there is presence of centriole, and in plant cell, there is absence of centriole. Centriole is a pair of minute cylindrical involved in the development of spindle fibers in cell division. Next, in plant cells, there is large vacuole filled with both inorganic and organic molecules along with water to support the organelle. But in animal cell, there are small vacuoles filled with both inorganic and organic molecules along with water to support the organelle. In both the cells, you can see the nucleus, ribosome, cytoplasm, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi body, and mitochondria. What's inside a cell? Inside a cell, there are many tiny structures called cell organelles. These organelles are responsible for providing needs of the cell. They work to bring in food supplies, get rid of waste, protection and repair of the cell, and help it to grow and reproduce. Each one has a specific function to do for the cell. And if any one organelle stops its function, then the cell is programmed to die. So what are the organelles we have seen inside the cell? Yes, they are mitochondria, nucleus, cytoplasm, endoplasmic reticulum, ribosome, Golgi body, etc. Cell structure. As we have already seen, all cells have some common structure. These are cell membrane, cytoplasm, and nucleus in most eukaryotic cells. The structure of a typical plant and animal cell shows some peculiarities. Come, let's see that. Cell membrane. The boundary of an animal cell is the plasma membrane, which is also called as cell membrane. Next, cell wall is the supporter and protector of the plant cell. All animal and plant cells are enclosed or surrounded by a cell membrane, as you learned before. However, as you might have noticed previously, that animal cells often have an irregular shape, whereas plant cells have a much more regular and rigid shape. Plant cells have an additional layer on the outer side of the cell membrane. This is called as a cell wall that provides a framework for support and stability. The cell wall is formed from various compounds, the main one being cellulose. Cellulose helps to maintain the shape of the plant cell. This allows the plant to remain rigid and upright even if it grows to great heights. Each cell is interconnected with its neighboring cells through openings called plasmodesmata. Let's see some specialized cell, their structure and function. First one, epithelial cells. They are mostly flat and columnar in shape. The structure of epithelial cell is shown in the picture. Then, the function. They cover the surface of the body for protection. Next, muscle cells. They are long and spindle shaped. The structure of muscle cell you can see in the picture. They can contract and relax allowing the cell for movement. Next, nerve cells. The body of nervous cell is branched with an elongated nerve fiber. The structure of nerve cell you can see in the picture. What are the functions? Nerve cells are specialized to carry and conduct messages that coordinate the functions of the body. Next, red blood cells. They are round, biconcave, and disc-shaped. The structure of red blood cells you can see in the picture. And what are the functions? Red blood cells carry oxygen and collect carbon dioxide from various parts of the body. Do you know about stem cells? Stem cells are quite amazing as they can divide and multiply while at the same time with their ability to develop into any other type of cell. Embryonic stem cells are very special as they can become absolutely any type of cell in the body. For example, blood cell, nerve cell, muscle cell, or gland cell. So they are utilized by the scientists and medicos to cure and prevent some diseases like spinal cord injury. Cytoplasm, the area of movement. When you look at the temporary mounds of an onion peel, that is the transparent onion peel, you can see a large region of each cell enclosed by the cell membrane. This region takes up very little stain. It is called the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm includes all living parts of the cell within the cell membrane, excluding the nucleus. The cytoplasm is made up of cytosol and cell organelles. The cytosol is a watery, jelly-like medium made up of 70 to 90% of water and usually colorless. Cell organelles and structures present in a cell are endoplasmic reticulum, vacuole, ribosome, Golgi body, lysosome, mitochondria, centriole, chloroplast, surrounded by plasma membrane and cell wall. Protoplasm versus cytoplasm. In particular, the material inside and outside the nuclear membrane is known as protoplasm. The fluid inside the nucleus is known as the nuclear fluid or nucleoplasm, and outside the nucleus is called as cytoplasm. Inside the cytoplasm, there is mitochondria, known as powerhouse of the cell. Do you remember learning about the food as the energy sources for the body? Just as wood is burned to release the stored potential energy to make a fire to heat some water. The food that you ate to be broken down in order to release the energy which can be used by your body to function. Mitochondria are responsible to do this function. Very active cells have more mitochondria than cells that are less active. Which type of cell do you think will have more mitochondria? A muscle cells or bone cells? Is absolutely it muscle cell because it's doing more mechanical works. Mitochondria is an oval or rod-shaped double membrane bounded organelles. Aerobic respiratory reaction takes place within the mitochondrion to release energy. so it is known as the powerhouse of the cell. The energy produced within the mitochondria is used for all the metabolic activities of the cell. Next, chloroplast, food producers. Do you notice the green organelles present in plant cells and absent in animal cells? Chloroplasts are the only cell organelles that can produce food from the sun energy. Only plants with chloroplast are able to do photosynthesis because they contain the very important green pigment chlorophyll. Chlorophyll can absorb radiant energy from the sun and convert it to the chemical energy, which can be used by the plants and animals. Animal cells lack chloroplast and are unable to do photosynthesis. Golgi complex. Membrane-bounded sacs are stacked on top of the other with associated secretory vesicles or collectively known as Golgi complex. Functions of Golgi complex are the production of secretory substances, packaging, and secretion. This is the secret behind the change in color and taste of fruits. In the picture, you can see the Golgi apparatus. You can see the cisternae, newly forming vesicle, secretory vesicle, and incoming transport vesicle. Lysosome, known as suicidal bag. We will find organelles called as lysosome, which are very small to view using a light microscope. They are the main digestive compartment of the cell. They lyse the cell, hence they are called suicidal bag. Centrioles. They are generally found close to the nucleus and are made up of tube-like structures. Centrioles or centrosome are present only in animal cells and absent in plant cells. It helps in the separation of chromosomes during cell division. Endoplasmic reticulum. It is an intermembranous network made up of flat or tubular sacs within the cytoplasm. Endoplasmic reticulum is of two types. They are rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Rough endoplasmic reticulum. Rough endoplasmic reticulum or rough due to the ribosome attached to the membrane, which helps in the synthesis of protein. Next, the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. It is a network of tubular sacs without ribosome on the membrane. They play a role in the synthesis of lipids, steroids, and also transport them within the cell. You can see the rough and smooth endoplasmic reticulum in the picture. Nucleus, the brain of the cell. Plant and animal cells have a nucleus inside the cytoplasm. It is surrounded by a nuclear envelope. One or two nucleolus and the chromatin body are present inside the nucleus. During cell division, the chromatin body is organized into a chromosome. Storage of genetic material and transfers heredity characters from generation to generation are the functions of chromosome. Functions of nucleus. It controls all the process and chemical reaction that takes place inside the cell. Inheritance of character from one generation to another are the functions of nucleus. Do you know about red blood cells? Red blood cells do not contain a nucleus. Without a nucleus, these cells die quickly. About 2 million red blood cells die every second. Luckily, the body produces new red blood cells every day.